It's time for some deep rock. Sorry the stream got delayed and stuff. It's just, there was not as adequate privacy as I was hoping for, and as expected. And so I had to mess with the schedule a bunch. Unfortunately. And it's probably gonna be actually, I'll probably be a bit more consistent next week with, like, next weekend, because I still want to try and find a time next weekend to stream again. But it might be, late Sunday, like today. We're gonna be doing deep dive, and then we'll see what time it is after that. How long this takes. Yeah. Fortunately and unfortunately, is I'm gonna have plenty of time to stream during the week, probably, like more during like afternoons EST, because the French course I was gonna doing canceled, and so now I'm doing a different French course that's online only. And that's only for like 3 hours in the morning, so more time to play video games. So that's gonna be nice. So I'll hopefully get like a schedule out for that for next week. Yeah, and I've been trying to figure out how Vroid works so I can get like a Vroid model and stuff set up. Cause I do have like VR headset and stuff in the house that no one's ever used, and it's just been sitting there for like a couple months. So once I figure that stuff out, I want to try and do something with that. I'm not sure yet. There's like this cool submarine VR game that I want to try out. I was like, that might be fun. Otherwise, I'm not sure what VR game. I'm sure there's some good ones. And then there's a couple other stuff I have in mind for games I want to try. But I have to get around to getting them to be working and stuff. Like, Raimi was helping me out with Kingdom Hearts and stuff, but I have to like go through the steps of like pirating. I mean, downloading it and setting it up and everything. I was not paying attention to the missions. It is VR Bartender. There's got to be, yeah. That's a good idea. There's probably a VR Bartender. I still want to play Valhalla. At some point. Well, like replay it, I guess, kind of, because I played. The reason I've wanted to play that as a stream game for a really long time, because you know Bartender and stuff, and it fits really well. The problem is that I've already played pretty far, I think, into it, and so I was hesitant to give it like to replay it because I don't know, it wouldn't feel as genuine. And I was hoping that they have like a second game coming out, or they've had one like upcoming for a while. I'm not sure when it actually comes out, and so I was gonna wait till that. I kind of getting more and more tempted to just play it now and see how that goes. So maybe next week or week after, probably. That's a pretty fun game. We got pretty good assignments so far. Let me know how like the audio and stuff is. It's hard to tell how it is compared to how I am. Yeah, we have a good assignment. Drodos are fairly easy, and collect alien eggs is also quite easy. So I'm not too worried.
The drill dozer has stopped. Fuel canisters are all dry as a bone. Refill them, and we will have this show on the road again soon.
It is probably going to be a long drill dozer, which means that we have to refuel more than once, but that's fine. That could be a lot worse. You really don't want one where you have to be, like, in one spot for a really long time, at least in my experience. So, like, black box mission, salvage mission, like the drilling and piping where they're collecting stuff, that works, where you have like a static point that you have to keep returning to, because then you get like swamped. But with this one, like, even though we're doing like stops like this, they're fairly short. Like, they're obviously not going to be the whole mission, because once we fill this up, we go back. And so it's pretty easy to just do them pretty quickly and not, like, get trapped here. One trick you can do, though, it's a bit not as easy if you're not driller, is if you dig this out fully so that it's not connected to anywhere. Yeah, it'll collapse. I already mined out most of it accidentally anyway, so it doesn't really affect it. But that's pretty good for those hanging ones, because then it all like gathers in a couple places, and so it's easy to get. Good, good. Lots of oil. Yeah, that's...
Protect the drill dozer. It's being attacked by wildlife.
Bosco can go do that. I almost prefer playing this game in, like, single player, because having Bosco, the drone, help us is really helpful for most missions. There are a couple where he's not as nice, but really it's, like, super useful. Wrong gun.
All canisters fueled. Drill dozers ready to make more progress.
Like, the big one he's not useful at is salvage, because you have to stay in one space, and if you're not in that area, then it goes to the progress goes down, which is annoying if you get down, because you don't count once you're like unconscious. But otherwise, he's pretty much almost better than a regular player in some regards, because he can pick up stuff like on the ceiling.
Light for me, please.
He's also not that great in the data missions, because there's like boss fights and he's not going to be as useful at shooting the weak points. But so far this mission is good. We have to go back to the beginning because there's an egg I missed there. I didn't realize it was there until after I started the drill dozer. But that's not that bad. That's pretty easy to do, and it gives us an opportunity to go back and collect all the nitra. Oh, shit. Yeah. And I'm probably gonna do more, like, Deep Rock, as maybe as, like, my kind of guerrilla game, if I, like, have free time and stuff. Because I really like playing this game. Definitely one of my favorites. And it's pretty, like, short. Like, you can kind of play as much as you want. Like, it's not like, oh, once I'm playing this, I feel obligated to be playing, like, for, like, a couple hours to complete, you know, mission or whatever. It's like, I can just play, like, 15 minutes, an hour. And there's like good stopping points all across it. So we can start it. I just want to check for more resources, because I haven't deposited anything at all, which is not ideal. Why am I such a casual gamer? I don't know, man. I like RPGs and stuff, but for like a stream game, I'm trying to manage my wariness of, oh, I want to play a game, and then I don't want to accidentally like love the game too much and then just finish it off stream, and that would be awkward. Uh, there are like more games and stuff that I have, like, I want to play and stuff, but some of them I also just play off stream because it would either be like difficult to set it up for stream, like account wise and stuff, because sometimes they go through like different things and the accounts are fucking pain in the ass. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft.
I made a platform.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely not like a competitive gamer. For the most part. I think the reason I'm not like competitive and stuff is because I really didn't get into MOBAs. Like, I think, or shooters that much. Like I've played my fair share of shooters and all that, but I never was that competitive in them. Partly because it's hard to be competitive when you're just not good at like shooters, because you can't compete, and so you can't be like angry at your teammates or whatever when you're not doing good yourself. So I'm not. I think and just I didn't get into MOBAs mainly because I didn't like the third person view. I've always much preferred first person. So I think part of it is I just didn't get competitive over that. And that's why I'm pretty like casual in terms of like how I play and stuff. And like the kind of stuff I play. Yeah. I mean, people do get angry, but there's also, I feel, at least in my mind, it's like, I can't be criticizing people for what I can't really, like, I can't do myself. Because that's kind of like, if I'm saying, you know, improve your aim and shit, like, I can't aim for shit, so I can't be really super critical on that. Because I can't do it myself. Oh, I haven't found any nitro, which is very frustrating. There's nothing here for Bosco. Yeah, I don't want to have to go back, so we'll just start it and hope for the best. Yeah. I think that and just like kind of the environment I was in was very like super manners oriented. I've been in a COD lobby, but I generally avoided that because I don't like it. It was not for me. Like I played like lots of COD games and stuff, but I generally played them with volume with the chat and stuff off. Cause I don't really care to interact with like those people. No offense to anyone, but it's like, yeah. Now where I do get toxic is collectible card games and stuff. I'm very competitive over. Like when it's like a one-on-one card game thing, oh that gets me competitive. It was, yeah, because I went to like a fancy private school, like religious private school, so it was very like I mean the motto of the school. Actually, no, I can't say that. That would be bad. That would not be good. Anyways, no, none of that. But it was all very like respect and like, yeah, manners oriented, I guess, for lack of a better term. And so because like, I don't know, that was a big part of my upbringing and stuff, that helped.
Hope the bandage stays on.
And I do think that's like the biggest thing I took away from that, is just don't be a dick all the time, and things generally work out for you. Except in card games, then you can be a dick, because then there's one person that you're playing against, you're never going to see him again, and they're bad at the game, so it's fine.
Attention team, to keep the drill dozer running at full capacity, you need to keep it clear of bugs. Also, we got an incoming swarm.
I think part of the reason it's easier for me to be toxic in, like, card games and stuff is because sometimes there is, like, an objective right way to play. Like, if my teammate or whatever in, like, say, Rainbow Six Siege is going, like, flanking or whatever, and I think that they shouldn't be and they staying on site, that's, like, more opinion than, like, objective fact that they shouldn't be. Whereas, if they play a wrong card in the card game, they fucked up, I know that I can recognize they fucked up, and they made, like, an objective error, if that makes sense.
Little thoughty fix. Out of my way.
Plus, it's just a more satisfying, like, competitive environment because there's only one person, so if I fuck up, I can recognize when I fucked up. It's not, like, just the team or vice versa or whatever. There's no, like, the pressure of other team members being a pain in the ass.
Hold your breath.
Like, if you fail or win, it's entirely on you. And, like, and the cards, of course, that you draw to a certain extent.
The drill dozer is exposing the core. The Heartstone is almost ours.
Damage repair.
That's definitely why I, like, preferred, like, the strategic games. And, like, than, like, more, like, shooters and MOBAs and stuff. Like, team-based competitiveness is weird. Too many variables.
Incoming swarm. Keep the dozer safe.
You modern wonder, you.
Canadian priest and roast. Yeah.
Using the drill dozer. Protect and
I think, like, that's, I think, honestly, that's a pretty accurate of how I kind of see how I act, is I'm generally trying my best to be very respectful and stuff. But I'm also more than happy to be, like, casually, like, bantering with people. Because I do genuinely, like, it's a lot of fun just bantering with people. There's, like, nothing more in the world that I enjoy more in terms of social interaction. But until I'm at the point where I'm comfortable bantering with people, I'm generally going to be very respectful and, like, on my toes, kind of, in, like, the, make sure to be stepping carefully and being respectful about everything. Because bantering, like, with friends or people you have, like, a general idea of their boundaries and stuff is very different than, like, if you're doing it, like, with complete strangers.
The drill dozer served its purpose. The Heartstone is ours. Deposit it and wrap up the mission.
Yeah.
Where is that damn mule?
Oh, damn it, I'm out of ammo. I'm definitely gonna need to get a resupply. Now we can kind of relax a bit more now that that's done. We just have to collect the 2 eggs. Because those are pretty, like, one of them's midway back, the other one's far back. Big thing is nitros. I haven't been seeing a lot of that, unfortunately. We have enough to call on a resupply. I'll probably...
Platforms placed. Platform.
It'll be sure telling them suck it if they don't like it. Yeah. I mean, I think... I don't know. It's just an awkward thing. It's always been, like, a very weird place for me with social interaction, is knowing when, or trying to figure out when to, like, banter and, like, kind of push the line with, like, jokes and stuff, and whether to not. And I've generally ended up leaning kind of on the not until you're comfortable with, and starting to open up onto that more recently. It's also kind of awkward because as, like, a Paul's major in politics, the jokes that I'm exposed to and find funny are simultaneously kind of, you know, toe the line with that stuff. And are just like, you might not also just might not understand it unless you're kind of in that field in terms of your interests as well.
Where is that damn tin can?
Like, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but me and my friend group, we had like an ongoing joke about this absolutely terrible person, Julius Evola, like historical figure. He basically is like a super fascist, and like literally not like Twitter fascist, like proper fascist, who's like, I think he criticized like Hitler and stuff for being not fascist enough. And so he was big into like spiritualism stuff, so he's pretty easy to like laugh at for many reasons. And so we do a lot of jokes on that and like parodying him and all that stuff amongst our friend group, because like that's a group that like I'm comfortable with joking about him. It's clear that the jokes are satirical and parody, and also like none of us would we know each other well enough that none of us would seriously entertain any of like the guy's stupid fucking ideas. But like those are also kind of jokes that I would not say in public, or at least probably not, at least not sober, because it's just kind of like I don't want to potentially have to explain that, because it's just weird. They aren't gonna, people might not get it, and then it's kind of awkward.
I need the mule right here, right now.
Get that, but if it's funny, just go for it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, jokes about philosophy are fringe. It's, people aren't gonna, especially on certain websites, take everything too seriously or without like understanding of jokes and stuff, and that's just, I'd rather not make jokes on that then, because if they're just gonna willfully be misinterpreted, I don't need to add like my own fuel to the fire. They can do that job themselves.
Molly! Deposit time!
But like, yeah, I don't personally like take offense to most jokes or anything. I think it's generally, most stuff is pretty fair game, as long as you like, as long as there's an understanding with the jokes, like, especially, you know, like if I'm making a joke about that, then there's, you know, I would make it with the understanding that the stuff I'm joking about is dumb and stupid and not like, which is why I tend to do it with people who I know better, because then you know I don't believe it, I know that you don't believe it, so it's fine to joke about it. Whereas some people are just like legitimately insane on like the internet, and so you never know. Ah, fuck. I haven't reloaded yet. Oh, I actually really need to reload. Hopefully if I can just survive this.
I'm not scared of you!
That's okay, let's call it, because we need to go.
Where is it?
Drop pod en route. Hang in there.
I don't want to reload yet, because fuck. Then we won't carry it over to the next mission.
pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
I think also I'd be more willing to make more jokes if I wasn't someone interested in working in like public service, foreign service stuff. Whereas sometimes I don't want to be like, I don't want to necessarily have like them bring up some dumb joke that I made in like an interview like 10 years from now. Which who knows at this point, it's so I just make the jokes in private instead. Easy.
Truck pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
Stop, I'm dead.
It's a shame too, because if you're like got a good group of friends who all know each other well and are comfortable with each like a comfortable understanding of each other's politics and like the jokes and stuff to make, it's a lot of fun, and there's some really good banter and stuff. But it's hard to find that in established stuff. I don't even know how we got here, to be honest. I should have actually looked at what the next one was going to be. I didn't pay attention. More kite and okay, repair 2 mules. If we'd gotten it in like reverse or like flipped order, that would have sucked because salvage missions suck. But this order's not bad because we don't have to do like the waiting in place stuff. We just have to repair it, which is easy.
I'm full. Where's Smalley? Deep Rock seriously needs to invest in some better equipment.
Let's just call this in because we're gonna have to. No avoiding that.
Supplies are on the way.
Can't carry anymore. Making a deposit. Resupply pod is here. Everybody collect ammunition. Getting supplies.
We can take 2. That is one of the other nice things about playing the solo is you're always gonna have like plenty of ammo usually, because like that one of those will fully resupply my inventory twice, so I do not have to worry about ammo for the rest of this level, unless things go downhill pretty fast.
Help me mine this.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't. If you don't upgrade his like mining abilities, he's pretty useless. And I could have sworn I did because normally I have that on by default because it's really helpful. But sometimes I swap it up for like deep dives occasionally for extra health, depending on what if I know like lost before in this or I'm just worried about it. But, oh, fuck.
Here, have some extinction. Platform.
I really hope we don't have to go back up there. That would suck.
Coordinates transferred. Gotta check my terrain scanner.
Ah, shit.
Bosco, what is that?
The nice thing with this is Engineer has the best guns in the game, in my opinion. And so we're able to make pretty quick work of just about everyone. Oh, we also have the turret. I never remember to place the turret ever in this game.
One platform, ready to use.
So I consider it kind of useless. Not because it's not helpful, but I just never remember to place it or fill up the ammo once I've placed it. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Because it's just like, I'm never trying to stay in one place long enough. Even though the setup is pretty fast. Oh, don't use this call, I guess. Close enough. I don't think I fully explained why I wasn't able to stream at 5, which is, cause I expected, I was at my, like, family cottage and stuff, and we have, like, a little, like, bunkie area, so I was hoping to be able to get over there, and, like, be out of the way and not have them interrupt or anything, but unfortunately there's a massive wasp's nest right next to it, and I have, terrifying fear of wasps. They scare the ever-living shit out of me. So I did not go near that for the entirety of the weekend. Basically stayed inside as much as possible. And so because of that, I was in like the part that was really close to where everyone else was. And so I wasn't super comfortable just potentially accidentally doxing myself if they come over and like ask if I want to do something. But fortunately, we still had time tonight, even though I still have a lot of chores to do after this, before I go to sleep. Where is the... You can pick that up. Thank you, Bosco. Is it on here? I don't see it.
I made a platform. Platform. Access provided.
I used to be pretty critical of the platform gun compared to the other, like, methods of, like, traversal. But it is warming up on me. I don't think anything can really beat the Scout's, zipline gun. Or grappling gun. But this is pretty good. I don't see it anywhere. Down.
Platform up. You know, I think I've seen some spare pipe rails lying around the station. Just saying.
Just in case. Never too much nitro.
Hover boots on.
I guess it's just further down. Usually they're close together. So that's kind of...
Rockpox swarm incoming.
Oh, fuck.
Do follow decontamination protocols on return.
Rockfox is annoying. It's a really, like, cool mechanic, like, mechanics-wise and everything. It's a lot of fun. Or, it's interesting.
The Rockpox swarm is upon you.
But it is a pain to get affected by. Ah, fuck. Yeah, that's why I don't like... It's that effect that makes the Rockbox difficult. Because, yeah, if you get caught like that, you have to, you know, spam it as indicated. And you still take damage while stuck by that. Which, you know, makes sense. But it can take your health down pretty fast.
If you were truly alive, thank God, you're most certainly dead.
Hostiles are backing down. Finish them.
Hey, the Rockbox is getting into my suit.
I think that's all of them. I hope.
Blow it up, Bosco! Follow me, Bosco.
Sometimes Bosco can't really obey.
I almost feel bad for these Rockbox infected bugs.
Yeah. Gonna wanna call in resupply soon, I think. Let's just call in here. Why not? That way we can pick it up on the way back, probably.
Crud! The battery is spent. Time to restart! I'm taking some of the ammo. Much better. Grabbing ammo.
This is one of my favorite zones because everything is only one tap, so it's really easy to dig.
Ammo! Can't move! Yeah!
Plus, it's just kind of, it looks nice. These zones, despite like the procedural generation, because I know sometimes I can just make stuff look kind of weird, they all look quite nice.
Shredder's out! Inventory is full. I got the deposit.
And I think that's probably because like it's their caves and stuff. and if it would like, cause it's, I feel like for rooms and stuff that are man-made, it's a lot harder. Whereas like caves just shape weird IRL, so makes sense that it might be. So it's easier to like rationalize it if it's like kind of shaped weird in game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no like uncanny cave effect. This is why you always light up where you're going first before you jump.
Platforms placed.
Oops.
Platform created.
Okay, so we have enough to go once we find the mini mule. And we've gathered most resources. Like, we have plenty of nitro still. So, yeah, we're in very good shape to complete this. Yeah, I can hear it now. I don't know why it's so separated from the other one. Usually they're very close together.
Flares ain't ready.
Bug sign. We got bug sign. Swarm incoming.
Ah, shit. Normally I have a perk that gets you out of this. But it also... You don't encounter those that frequently. So I've been trying out not having the perk. Because it's half the time it's like a wasted slot. Oh, Jesus. I need to find some health. Oh, I see some more trigger over there. Damn. Alright, we still, yeah, we're right back up. Thank you, Bosco.
Stand a chance against us.
Objective completed. Morkite quota met. Good work. All objectives completed. Drop pod can be called via the mule. Your deep dive chariot is on the way. Clock is ticking. Move it, team.
Alright, so now we have a way out.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule.
Oh, you're right, fast. Oh, that means probably high up.
Pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
That was an awesome spawn for you. Better luck next time. I was also very down on the shotgun initially, but it has definitely grown on me. I got a really good modification for it that like vastly increases the chance for it to stun.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
I don't even know shit. How do I go here?
Hate to wait for flare charge.
Oh, we go down and around. Alright. I think this is the tunnel where my resupply is. Or no, I have one at the very start. So.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
Ah, here it is.
Your time is up, Craig. Getting
Thank you,
more ammo.
Molly. That's very helpful.
Yeah. Ready to kill some more crates.
Never too much ammo. Alright, now I just have to wait for it to lock in.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 2 minutes.
Awesome.
The mule has docked, initiating launch sequence. Nicely done. Express elevator to hell, heading out.
So what do we get? Quick fire. That'll be interesting. I imagine it's got to increase our reload and stuff a bunch. I don't use the crossbow that much, but that could be good. Kill troop dreadnoughts. Actually, alien eggs. That's easy. Perfect. After this, I'll give the harder deep dives a try. I don't usually succeed on like them at all, even the first level. But it's worth a shot.
Third stage of the deep dive
So we'll give
commencing.
it a try.
Taking you right to the black heart of Hoxie's. This is not going to be a walk in the park. So, team.
Let's see where the
bring
eggs
your
are. Oh,
A
one's
game.
right there. Normally I like to have like one in the area that I'm fighting him in.
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way.
So let's drop one. Oh, and the egg's there too. Alright.
The resupply is here.
Time to fight. Oh, Hive Guard. I think Hive Guard is the most annoying one, because you can't damage it really. It has like invulnerability periods. Alright, well let us dig its way to us. Oh, that's a good time to build the turret. Hi Rexus, thank you for joining me. We're just playing a bit of Deep Rock Galactic. And it's my go-to, like, casual game. Yeah, now we shoot the weak points. Shit, missed. Let's get it up a bit closer to here. So I have more room to work with. Yeah. Damage hitting itself is going to be pretty easy. We're just waiting for it to bring out sentinels.
What's this? Oh, I needed that.
Where's the other? Oh, there.
Liffid Sentinel eradicated.
Oh, I walked right into that. Sometimes it's awkward to get them because of the my after death ability killed it. Very nice. Sometimes it's hard to get them because of the legs being in the way when you're trying to get them with like the pickaxe and stuff. All right, we can reload, rearm, reload, and go to the next one. But overall, they're pretty easy, even if you're playing solo. I think that's part of why I like the game a lot. Is it's it feels very balanced, even if you're like a solo player or like in a group. Like obviously things are gonna be easier in a group, but it doesn't feel like it's that much harder when I'm playing solo. Everything still feels just as doable. Usually there's a swarm after the egg, so it's smart to do like 2 at a time, just to get it over with. Yeah, see, exactly. Oh fuck. These guys are very tough. They spawn, I think they spawn more frequently in deep dives. They do a ton of damage. They're one of the only mobs in the game I'm genuinely very scared about.
It's just a breeze.
What would you say is the best class for playing solo? I would say, it kind of depends on the mission. And the difficulty level. My main experience is I don't play super high difficulty normally. I tend to play around the difficulty that like these deep dives are, so like 2 or 3. Just because it's more like casual and stuff. And then with a group, I'll play a higher difficulty. And I've heard that the strategy's changed quite considerably. But I would say that there are kind of two classes. So, Driller, which is the... No, not Driller. Engineer, which is the one I'm currently playing. Which brings very good weapons to the table. But the problem, I would say, with Engineer is that the kind of utility is not really as good as some of the other classes. They have a platform gun, which is actually pretty decent for vertical movement and horizontal movement. But nowhere, it doesn't really compare with some of the other classes. Whereas whereas like Scout, which is the other example of like other what I would consider probably the best class in the game overall. Even though I think that Engineer probably has better weapons at this point. Because Scout has very good utility. Because they have a flare gun, which is very helpful because it lets you like light up massive areas. And then they have the best maneuverability in the mobility in the game because they have a grappling gun, and it lets them go pretty much anywhere. The one weakness is you can't get I couldn't get something up here, which I could theoretically get as Engineer with the platforms because I can create like a place to walk on. But the times when that's helpful are fairly insignificant. And a trick that you can do with Scout is you grapple onto somewhere, use your power attack to kind of like dig yourself in a bit, and then work from there. And so Scout is the best solo class, I'd say. Engineer is a fairly close second, but it depends whether you're looking for straight firepower or you're looking for utility. Yeah, 2 eggs. That's... Oh wait, no, I was looking at the wrong thing. There are supposed to be 2 eggs here. Also, hi Rexus and Soren. Thank you for coming. Rexus and Temp. I am muddling up my words today. Yeah, because the problem with Scout is that as much as I love them and I love the guns that they have, that firepower and just straight like burst damage potential is not super strong, so you can have a bit of trouble with like just dishing damage out. Whereas I haven't really found that that's a big issue as Engineer, because both the shotgun's really good close quarters and the Shard Diffractor is, in my opinion, the best weapon in the game. And it's very good. It shows 85% grapple hook, that's all he is. No, I mean, kinda. There's like 85% grapple hook, 10% flare gun, because the flare gun is incredibly useful as well. And then like 5% guns. Whereas Engineer is like, solid 50%, 50% guns. I would say like 10% grenades, because Engineer has one of the best grenades in the game, which summon shredders, and they basically will like go and self-target stuff, as you can kind of see, and they do very good damage and have a pretty long lifetime. Whereas none of Scouts really do significant damage. The 4th grenade that he got does like some damage, but it's not consistent. So it's kind of like an awkward place. It is good, but it just doesn't. Nice to have a damaging grenade, a solid damaging grenade option. That should die. Drop a resupply, because I'm running a bit low, and I have plenty to spare. But I will say it also really depends on the overclocks that you have. Overclocks are basically, you get them for doing missions like this, or like assignments, weekly stuff, mainly. And those are, like, how you can kind of further customize your weapons to have, like, well, I'll do a better job showing them and, like, the ones that I run shortly once this mission is finished. But they allow for far greater, like, customization in, like, play style and what guns you have. But you don't get really choices in the ones that you unlock and when you unlock them. So you're kind of at the mercy of whatever you draw. But they add a really fun level to the game. So it really depends, because they're very helpful. I think. Eventually you get to a point like where I am, where I have like most of the overclocks I want for like, or overclocks I like for most or all of the guns that I use. So I'm not too worried about it, and I can kind of just run whatever and have like a good overclock for it. But if you're like early into collecting overclocks and stuff, then that's going to be pretty substantially different for you. And so whatever I don't mind it, because like it's kind of rewards you for it also rewards you for just doing what you're already doing, because they relatively recently, I think, I can't remember when, but they basically added it so that when you max level a character, because there's like a prestige system, doesn't reset guns or anything, it's just for like basically like showing off and stuff. In that prestige system is how when you like max a class, you can do assignments to reset it and get like the little stars you can kind of see in the corner of my screen. I have 3 stars on the engineer, 3 of the bronze stars on the engineer, and like next time I get this to max level, I go to silver, and then etc. And so whenever you, it used to be whenever you like prestige, you would get 1 blank overclock. And now they changed it so that you get 3. You get 1 blank, 1 cosmetic overclock, which aren't super useful. And then you also get 1 random weapon overclock. The blank overclock is usually the most useful of that. Only downside is if you have to find like certain events to be able to get like your value out of it. Like I've been carrying 2 for a few days now, and I still have not found an event. But normally, I also haven't been playing that much in the past couple days, so fairly likely, like depending on how long stream goes and stuff, might find one like next mission. They're usually fairly common. So they've made it a lot easier to get overclocks recently, is my overall point. And it kind of rewards you for doing what you were already doing, because of you get them for like prestiging, and so it's kind of like the more you play, the more you're gonna level up, the more overclocks you're gonna get, etc. Where is the... Okay, so it's if I go down this way. I don't want you here. Shove off. Yeah, it was a really nice change, because there used to be a substantially greater like hard cap on how many you could gather in, like, because you basically how you normally that you otherwise get them from doing weekly. So this is the deep dives reset weekly. So you can get 3 from doing this. You get 1 blank, 1 weapon, 1 cosmetic. You get a weekly assignment, which gives you 1 blank, 1 cosmetic, 1 weapon. And then you can also do the elite deep dives, which are the harder versions, substantially harder. And that also gives you 1 weekly, 1 weapon, 1 cosmetic. and then every 5 that you craft, so get the overclock, like you get the you get it from a mission, and then spend credits and special materials to craft. Then you get one extra one every 5. So overall, I think in a week you're able to get 11 if you max out, and that's just from that would just have been from the weeklies, and now you're able to get substantially more if you can just level like one character a bunch. So they've made it like a lot easier. Okay, let's call in this. I am curious what I got from this, because I do think part of the fun with them and getting is like getting them through the missions and stuff. Because with the blank ones, you get more options. You don't get it's still fairly random, but you get a bit more choice. But I am curious, like which ones I got for the crossbow, for example. I don't really care about the cosmetics, with the exception of by crafting the cosmetic ones, they give you progress towards getting more overall, so it all kind of helps there. But otherwise, kind of not super useful. Oh, Glyphidra, they're not that bad normally. Awkward time for Sandstorm. Already have this close.
Die, bugs!
I always get like overzealous and get too close to those guys.
You're the best.
I think he glitched himself a bit there. Normally it doesn't happen.
Job well done. Button on the mule is activated.
I think that's one of the rare times that like I've actually seen the game kind of glitch itself out. Normally it is very like stable and stuff. Surprisingly so for like a procedurally generated and stuff game, I feel like. Alright. Time to call it in.
Drop pod en route. Hang in there.
Oh, it's like directly above. It's kind of awkward.
Drop pod has arrived. The mule has been called back. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
That's a weird drop-out location. Surprisingly close. Yeah, we'll go over the overclocks and stuff after this, because that's like a very important part to the game. I think you can play you can like technically play without it, but it is like a substantial boon.
You ugly son of a bitch! 7!
Good work. We're pulling you
And it is like the primary motivation for endgame content.
Is secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you.
Oh yeah, speaking of Starship Troopers, I tried out that Starship Troopers game. I was kind of hoping it was going to be pretty similar to like this. I was pretty disappointed, to be completely honest. It felt very chaotic and just kind of messy. Granted, I wasn't playing. It is very much more like a squad focused and not less of a single player experience than this. Which is a shame because I wanted to stream it. But it's the Starship Troopers game was kind of mid, to be honest, which is unfortunate. But I definitely do see like the resemblance, and I think having I actually haven't. I don't think I've actually watched the movie itself, but I've seen like tons of clips and stuff of it, and it seems really cool. I really need. There's so many movies I have to watch. And I think having the resemblance to the Starship Troopers universe is kind of fun because Starship Trooper has some cool bugs and stuff.
This is night. Unsafe, but night.
All right, yeah. So let's craft the stuff that we got. So it's faster reload and your bullet shoot faster. Yeah, so as you see here, there's like the Forge Mastery level. The number doesn't matter, but basically every 5 you get a selection. So we're gonna get one now.
Can't wait to show off my new look.
Anger management courses every Tuesday at 7 on Duck 12. The devs are really good for this game, at least so far. It seems so. They haven't given me like any reason to, doubt them. And they have like lots of like fun Easter eggs and just like funny lines and stuff. Yeah, the Starship Troopers game is out. I do have it. It does like seem. It seems all right. It's definitely not a finished game. So I'm holding out hope for the future. Because I think the concept is pretty interesting. And I think if they got it potentially, as bad as it sounds, just more in line with this. And I don't know if that's just because I really like Deep Rock Galactic and just want another game similar to it, or if like that's like genuine good feedback. Like unbiased, but I do think the game would be a bit better if it was more like in like sending out like a squad of troopers rather than like because it's like you're basically playing a team of 16 to complete objective, and it is like fairly fast paced, and I think it would be served better if it were like just like kind of like a squad procedural like generated shooter like this. That's only seen the first movie, loved it so much. Yeah, I have seen like a summary of like the movie and stuff, but I haven't actually seen it myself, even though it's like one of those that's on my list to see. I saw a summary because I watched like a channel that does some really interesting like biology videos on like aliens and like creatures from sci-fi and fantasy like movies and media and stuff, and like diseases in like zombie stuff and all that. So really super fascinating content, especially for someone like me who knows nothing about like biology or like medical science or anything like that. Oh, we were going to do not this. We were going to do the deep dive, the very hard one. Let's give that a shot instead. But yeah, so that's how easy.
The
introduced me to a lot of content that I otherwise probably wouldn't watch, because I'm not like a super horror like interested in horror movies or like that kind of stuff guy. Sci-fi and stuff I would, and I'd heard of Starship Troopers obviously like beforehand, but I hadn't like watched it or been as interested until I saw like his review and like but like summary and breakdown of like the bugs and stuff and the biology behind them. The channel Roanoke Gaming is what it's called. It does, I'm not sure if I mentioned it on here before, but it does really good like movie summaries and breakdowns and stuff. Highly recommend. He also has a side channel where he does like horror stories and like spooky real life stuff. Very similar vibes to like Wendigo, which is I feel like Wendigo's like fairly well known name, especially. So I imagine most people refer to them, but if not, another like very good content creator. Highly recommend. Like speculative biology, you have to recommend Algemoros. I would definitely like check that out. Yeah, I think part of the reason I like it so much is because I know nothing about it, so it's all like, yeah, that makes sense. It's cool. I don't know. It's cool to learn about that kind of stuff. It doesn't stick, I will say. Like most of it doesn't stick, but it is just quite fascinating. Learning like things and subjects I'm not super familiar with, it's very nice for my ADHD like stimulus, like intense brain. Like it's like it really helps fill the neurons on like I like to know things. I need to like have something happening all the time, constantly, by like trying to understand what they're talking about in like the media. Yeah, this is a lot harder, and it also does not help that we got probably the worst biome, because this is a very dangerous biome. So the odds are not in our favor for doing well.
Really much better. Hot, hot, hot. Platform up.
Yeah, Wendigo is really good. It's definitely, I've been watching a lot of his stuff recently. I kind of have like very like cyclical interests. Like I kind of like will go through like various topics and then like a couple like not like watch any of that stuff for like a few months and then circle back to it and like repeat that process. So currently I'm in like well, I was just in my like kind of mystery and horror phase. Now I'm back into my like naval history, and so we will see where it goes in the next few months. Fuck. Jesus.
I'm taking you with me. Save for the see how humiliating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better.
I mean, that's not to say like I don't still watch some of the stuff, like, I just don't watch the videos as frequently. Like, because there were, some very good Wendigo stuff. He recently, yeah, I got my special interest on rotation, exactly. I gotta maximize the efficiency of consumption, because what happens is I'll burn out by watching too much. I'll either burn out from watching too much, or I'll burn through, like, the video material that's available, and then I have nothing to watch. And since I need something to watch, fuck, we're fucked. Oh god, it's not going well.
Thanks, Bosco.
And since I need something to watch, like, constantly to fulfill my brain, then I'll have to move on to, like, the next thing, and then that I'll usually watch that until I run out of stuff to watch, or like there's been enough time that I have more material in my other special interests, and those kind of get brought back into focus. But yeah, I'm still watching a lot of Wendigo and stuff, because he recently just dropped, I think it was like the other day actually, the second part of his Monument Mythos like review, I guess. And that was a really fun watch. Both of them. I think my favorite Wendigo video is probably, I really like the Mystery Flesh Pit, because that one had some like this mystery, like, I guess, I don't know, like, I don't know how to describe what, like, the story behind it is pretty interesting. Or like the story that the author created of the Mystery Flesh Pit is quite interesting, and a lot of world building and stuff went behind it, which I find really interesting. So this is what endgame DRG looks like. Yes, arguably it's a lot more skilled gameplay, but you know, normally they wouldn't be dying, pretty much. But yeah. It'll be a lot less chaotic. And a lot more, like, actually efficient.
It's like she's bigger on the inside.
Oh shit, I'm out of grenades. Fuck.
Blast! Kill or be killed.
Yeah. Theoretically, they don't die as much.
Bosco, you are the best.
I'm trying to think of what's next after Naval History on my rotation usually. Usually it's like something with music, but that kind of varies. So it's hard to predict for that one. Because usually it'd be like a different kind of music.
Access provided.
Might be like VTubers again. I'm seeing again like I definitely still participate or watch consume content on this special interest, but it's where like most of my watch hours are. Is how I kind of determine it. Because like VTubers, that's definitely been part of the rotation, but I'm still watching and like trying to keep up on stuff, despite it not having been like the top of the rotation in a few months now. Because even like when I got interested in it, it kind of like just warmed its way into the rotation. Like I started with Hololive, watched them for a while, then got kind of like distracted with other interests, came back to VTubers. That's when I started watching Niji Sanji. Same thing happened. That's how I started watching Phase Connect. And it all just kind of rotates. So I'm curious to see what adventures my weird ass brain will take me on next. You never know. Box on AIDS. Uh-oh.
Eye for an eye.
Well, that's the run. Yeah. I don't know. I know some people don't find the Elite Deep Dives hard. I definitely do. Which is why I normally, when trying to do like my weeklies, I'll give like the first mission a shot, because you still get rewards if you complete the first mission, but don't complete the second. But normally, like after the first, if like in this case example where I don't do it first try, like I'm fairly confident that it's not like a matter of me just like brute forcing it. It's not really feasible with like my skill level. I just need to get good, and like if I want to be grinding out other missions to get cores, then I just need to do them instead.
Fascinate. Yes.
Our next reward is quite good. Let's see what the mission select actually is. Regenerative bugs. Drodozer, yeah, that's fine. We'll do a higher difficulty.
The mission is ready, the pod is prepped, get on board to drop pod. Drop pod is ready, time to leave.
That's one of the best drinks there. I'm going to, I think, if I want to show one of the, yeah, we'll show, I don't normally play, Gunner that much. So, let's show Gunner off. I think I got a new overclock for it as well. Where was it? Yes, the plasma ones. I was looking to try and unlock these for a while, so I'm glad I finally got them. If it penetrates, it's probably gonna hit the weak points more, so shrapnel might be better then.
Wicked.
And that's just, yeah, I think more ammo is gonna be better. Otherwise, yeah, this is pretty good. There's kind of a toss-up between these two, I find. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. Gunner has some, also has some good guns. The problem with them is that their maneuverability and like mobility options are just absolutely awful. Like, very much worse than the game, in my opinion, at least. Because they have a zipline, which is good and fine, except you move quite slow on it, and the big downside is that there is like both limited range and limited like angle that you can fire at, both elevation and depression. So you can't shoot like at a super high angle, and you can't shoot super low angle, and it just makes it too situational in my experience. And so I generally avoid playing gunner unless I have to, or it's a mission like this where I know there's not going to really be that much verticality or anything, or any reason for me to use the zip line because I can just ride the Drodozer the entire way. I can see it being a lot more useful in like co-op though, because it's unlike the other for example, Scout, which is like best maneuverability and mobility. Scout can only be used for himself, whereas Zipline can be used by anyone, and it's also good for carrying like heavier objects. But not all missions have heavy objects, so again, it's not super useful all the time. It's just a very situational ability.
Check your gear and let's go.
Yeah, like it can only go like 35 degrees. The range and stuff is pretty good most of the time. That is not a big issue, but the big downside is like, yeah, the only like 35 or so degrees. Because just most of the time you're not going to be able to like aim at what you want to climb. Like, I have to keep going back, and it's just not useful all the time. Let's gather all this stuff in the main area first, because that's better. That's the main materials. Oh, I forgot to change Bosco so he mines faster. Oops. Not the end of the world, though. Noises are probably just a boss or something. It'll be fine. Not too worried. Plus, we have very good firepower. So.
Operational at all costs.
Sweet. Guys, keep those bloody marks off the bulldozer. Try top down.
Oh, that's what it is. Fuck. Well, that's okay. That's pretty dangerous.
Doretta could really use an armor upgrade. Follow this.
Yeah, that's not good.
Things about to blow up. Get to cover.
The drill dozer is out of fuel. We need to refill the fuel canisters mounted on its back. Use the canisters to extract any nearby oil shale, and we'll
Very nice. No, yeah.
in no time.
I'm probably gonna end it fairly soon because it is, as you said, it's same time zone here, and I still have to like make my bed and stuff.
Oi, we're forgetting the dozer.
But the game's just too addictive sometimes.
Attack here. Attack Doretta.
So the thing about that guy that we just killed, the big guy, is
Sending in cleansing equipment.
that guy basically, he was a special type of we saw it in the previous deep dive, and I think the second stage,
Cleansing equipment is
where there was
on
the one that exploded previously. The difference is there's basically like two types. One of them is like coated in gold, and so when they explode, they leave, as you can see here, a giant gold radius. So you want to try and position them normally into a pretty good area. This one is very bad because we missed like almost half of it or something
We need to repair
because of
Doretta.
that. But normally you try to position them so like you get the most value out of it. And then you get like a very large amount of gold from mining it.
Repair the dozer before it takes permanent.
And the other type does not have that. I think it's the same spawn odds.
The drill dozer is under
At least to my knowledge.
before we lose it.
And so it's equally likely that either is going to appear.
We gotta protect Doretta.
But I don't think they both will appear on a level.
Rockbox larvas.
God, I hate Rockpox sometimes. Shit, what keeps... It's the Rockpox that's attacking, isn't it? God damn.
Drill dozer fixed.
No, still not damaged enough.
Applying lithochrome on the rockbox boiler. What's this? Oi, take the dozer. Return your bullet and the drill dozer.
Where the fuck keeps attacking? Is it just the radiation stuff?
Damage repaired. Doretta is under attack. Red sugar. Defended.
Yeah, so if Bosco might be able to buy us a bit of time to go and find
Doretta
Nitra
won't make it like this.
so that we can reload. We need 40. There's far more than we're going to be able to find. At least in this situation. Yeah. Alright, back to this fight.
It's open! Blast him to bits!
Basically for this kind of like event boss, you just have to spray it on the sides and stuff, and eventually it will open up once you've like decontaminated it enough.
I need support. Rockbox corruptor is open. Focus fire in the weak point.
All right.
Help me protect the dozer.
Oh, it's the radiation. Yeah.
This is fun. Ooh. Little dotty fix.
Forgot radiation could damage it, to be honest. So it's pretty rare that you both get a driller mission, like a drill dozer mission on this level, and that it like perks itself in such a bad spot.
Move your tin ass over here and hurry, please. Booyah! I really can't use this for anything.
Now we just deposit the play cards, event, like reward
All play cards secure.
here,
Excellent work.
and yes, this is what we need. Nitro.
I've got a zip line ready here.
So normally I would go back and mine that big explosion of gold, but because I did not put the
This is fun.
mining upgrade on Bosco, so he's mined super slow,
Can't carry anymore.
and also
Like the sound of that.
I have enough credits where I don't need the gold or anything,
Can't use this for anything.
and it's just kind of a pain to do. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to do the mission. We'll pick up some of the gold, probably on our way back. Because otherwise, it's just going to take, like, another hour.
That guy in mission control, he really has a cozy job.
It's just kind of inconvenient.
I think we actually have a chance to make it out alive.
Let's see, where's the best? Here's probably the best, closest one. I'm gonna, usually you'd find like 2 deposits, and they'll be sold. Because there's one directly above it, it's probably just gonna be these 2. Oh, nice. There's gonna be stuff left over for the next one.
Ready for refuel. Attack the Rika!
I still have to get used to them penetrating, but that does seem like a pretty helpful overclock. I think it's at least better than most of the other ones I have.
Canister, top dog. Whoever's got the last canister, get a move on. Second canister in place. We're good to go.
The drill dozer is fueled and ready to go. Drill dozer moving. Everything looks fine, but expect that to change soon.
Yeah. Definitely the radio.
Swarm on the intercept course. Get ready to protect the drill dozer.
We need to repair the radar! Dottie, fix!
Yeah, the plasma burster seemed quite good. I know there's also an upgrade that increases damage the longer that they are in the air, so might be helpful to get that for them as well.
You're as good as new, Sena.
Oh, time to
The
recharge
drill dozer
again.
just ran out of fuel again. Please refill it.
And now we probably want to call in resupply.
I ordered a resupply.
Supply drop has been ordered.
Because we are getting pretty low.
Resupply arrived. Go restock. Yeah. HP on.
Let's launch one up here.
Right up.
Fortunately, they're not a convenient location to pick up.
Fuel canister loaded. It needs to be oil shale.
So that's kind of an example of what happens is there's probably just some oil shale that either was destroyed by the bulldozer, or I'm trying to talk with chat. Game, you shut. Either was destroyed by that, or like whatever was holding it, like it was whatever it was attached to was destroyed by it, and so it kind of collapsed. And so if you can get them, usually with like the driller class, you can get them to fall in like a nice little like clump there, and then it makes it very easy to gather. Oh, that got dangerously low for a second, but no worries.
Doretta could really use an armor upgrade.
The drill dozer is en route to the Hearthstone. Expect heavy resistance.
Yeah. Usually you only have to refuel once or twice, so. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to refuel 3 times. Not that I can think of, at least.
Damage fixed. I got the tri-jaw.
Meant to do a second reload, so let's just do that now.
I'm taking some of the ammo.
Awesome.
Anyone guarding the drill dozer? Pantera tri-jaw eliminated. Takes permanent damage. Bam!
Rock and Stone.
No tomorrow.
Welcome to the stream.
Doretta is
We are
purring like a
doing
kitten.
our missions.
Bring the pain!
Yeah, these new plasma missiles are quite good. I like them.
Wait, we're forgetting the dozer!
Bosco, you can go throw that. This is the gunner class. I'm using the Hurricane missile system, and I have an overclock for the plasma missiles, which lets them basically penetrate the enemies and keep going, which is pretty nice. So as you can see, they're still like they hit through it and basically like fuck. Keep them in the air. Where'd you gonna come from? There you are.
Guys, keep those bloody bugs off the drill dozer! You're fast, bug, but I'm faster! Doretta healed!
I mean, if you have like a PC for it, it is on PC. And I would definitely, like, even like a laptop or something, I would definitely recommend giving it a shot if you can. It is a very good game and a lot of fun. I have sunk way too many hours into the game, even though I'm not that good at it, and it might not show, but I have over 400 hours at this point. I think I just hit that, like, middle of last week. An entirely too much time doing missions.
I can't carry anymore. Come here, you flying. Just take your sweet time, old lady. I've got all day.
So there's definitely like a lot, at least in my experience, a lot of hours worth of enjoyment and gameplay out of it.
Have someone to carry our rocks and stones.
I don't know how it is on console, but I can't imagine it's like that much better or worse. But I don't think like, you know, I don't think it would be hard to make like ruin this game, or just improve it. Yeah, good company, I would say so. The way that they've done like the battle pass and stuff is because they have a battle pass, but it's entirely free. Which is, you know, an oddity among games with battle passes, and or not battle, but you know, season pass, the same thing really. So it is definitely an oddity, but the way that they've done it is having it all free, and basically, there's no like theoretical pay to win, even though you're co-op or whatever. Pay for advantage stuff. It's all like you can pay for cosmetics to support the game. And that's about it, and for the game itself. And they haven't, like, tried to, like, monetize it aggressively or anything like that, which is a big, big positive in my books. They've earned, like, a lot of goodwill from me there. Let's see, is there anything else? We'll drop another resupply pod just because we can.
Supplies are on the way.
And yeah, we'll start up the drill dozer.
Extraction commencing. Drill dozer running at full steam. Stay alert, team. The noise and vibrations are attracting the bugs. Incoming swarm.
It's just got a very good, like, gameplay loop. Like, it's very easy to lose, like, lots of time into this. Like, I didn't expect to be streaming for 2 hours now. I was probably just going to stream for, like, 1, maybe 1.5, because it's pretty late. And then call it. But I've ended up losing complete track of time. Just because of how fun and, like, addictive the game is. Yeah, it's solo with Bosco. Oops. I find I don't like solo and stuff is not substantially more difficult than playing with like another person, which is nice. Or it's basically how I find it is. It's definitely, you know, is a lot more interesting and fun in, like, co-op with other people. But playing it alone, it is still a very good, like, single-player experience. And it doesn't feel like it's unbalanced when playing solo. With the exception of the missions that are, like, you know, if I go into a substantially higher difficulty, it is going to be, you know, a lot harder for me as a solo player. But that's not, like, unexpected, and it doesn't feel, like, unreasonably difficult, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, Bosco is, like, as, if not more helpful than, like, another player. Like, sometimes I have played, just with, like, a single friend, and it's like, you miss some of the stuff that Bosco can do when it's just the two of you. because like gathering materials that are super high up, just mining independently from you, and like really just that ability to fly is really, really helpful. And you never really fully appreciate it until he's gone. Damn it, it got away. Oh, that's a lot of them. Here we go. It is kind of unfortunate that you can, like, just power through these with brute force by just repairing the Judozer faster than they can do damage most of the time. But I imagine at even higher difficulties that that's not feasible. But it is kind of like...
75%, almost there.
Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate that that's the case. Yeah. I think something that most people don't realize with those towers is that you just need to like break them near the top a bit. So if you have like missiles like that, you can just kind of kill them pretty quickly. And then that also controls where they spawn, which is the only real way to interrupt. Sometimes it's a bit finicky. But pretty much, if you blow it up and or like mine it out, they can still spawn those towers. But if there's already one spawn there, even if it's destroyed, then it won't spawn in that position. As you can see, like they're kind of very spread out now. We lost a section of the drill, but that's fine. We still have plenty of health.
Keep those things off it. That's an order.
Quick! Someone debug the dozer!
Yeah, like realistically, I could just keep funning this, but that's not nearly as fun.
Like these things weren't bad enough alive!
Yeah.
We are losing the drill dozer! Protect it!
Yeah.
Served its purpose. The Heartstone is ours. Deposit it and wrap up the mission.
Yeah, so we'll deposit it now. And we will... Where it's the... Molly really likes... where is Molly? Where are you? Oh, you're just back here. A lot of the time when I do this mission, I notice Molly really likes to climb up onto the top of that and like make herself very difficult to put stuff on.
Armor and Heartstone secured.
So before we call the
And we will send in the
drop pod, I think I want to look for more special ore. Because I feel like there's definitely some that I've missed if I go back. It's nice and quiet now. But yeah, like as you can see here, they're all like destroyed pretty easily, and their spawns are fairly like spread out and stuff. Whereas if you just destroy if you drill them, particularly, if you drill them or destroy them with the C4 as driller, they can spawn in the same location again. And so it's less easy to like predict where they're gonna spawn from and like anticipate that.
Hover boots on!
So if we retrace our steps before calling it, then we should find some special ore. Yeah. with some classes, like Scout, it's kind of just unavoidable. You can kind of mitigate it a bit with Scout if you grapple towards the top of it and just try to hit it. But sometimes it's just easier to power attack, like, the base, and sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. With, like, destroying that well enough. I think we've mainly got everything, to be honest. But yeah, so there are like, those are like the kind of tips and stuff and tricks that you kind of just will like pick up as you play. Cause it's just like, it's like a lot of like quality of life like tips. Or it's like, you can definitely achieve it fairly, like it's still, like it's not a significant like improvement in terms of like efficiency or wherever. But it is just like nice and it does help a little.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Red sugar.
The nice part about this type of mission is that it's very easy to predict where the drop pod's gonna go, because it's basically just gonna be like back where you came, or if you go all the way to like this end, then it would be more that way, like in the middle type thing. Because my understanding of how the drop pod spawns work are, it's just a certain distance away from you, and because this level is linear, if you call it like further in that direction, it's gonna be like where you started over here and whatnot. So it's super easy to kind of predict where it's gonna go, so you can just call it in, and then as it's like deciding where it's gonna drop, just start walking there ahead of time.
The mule's been successfully retrieved.
Alright.
Snap it, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever.
Oh, we didn't fully walk in. My bad.
Extraction commencing. Good work.
I think this is gonna be the end of stream shortly, just because it is quite late and I still have to like make my bed and everything and clean up my room and stuff. So we'll just call it here. Thank you so much for coming. I'll have a schedule out sometime tomorrow as I figure out like when I'm gonna be free during the week. But yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Odds are in. Make sure to check out like other FlaVR members and friends. They should be in the description stuff. And yeah, just have a fantastic day, night, or evening. Or whatever.